Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Leni with Laurie Kent Designs, and I am doing the video today for the block of the or the Thread of the Month Club for April, and it's going to be called Sharp Things, and it should be a fun class. So what I'm going to do, I'm doing it on a new platform. So I'm going to take you over. This is the hoop I'm using is a 6x10 hoop. I am using this for my pots, which I thought would be fun. You need a zipper, 12 inches or bigger. These are my fabrics for my cactuses. Oops. As I'm throwing them on the floor, I'm going to use some felt, which I thought would be fun. This is the top of my case. This will be the bottom of my case. And then this is going to be my lining for both the top and the bottom inside these two pieces. And then I have my back and my lining for my back. I have put on trying something new with Fusion Fleece, which is one of my favorite things from OESD, to give it a little more body in the front, but you can use SF101 and or fusible woven for your front and back. So what I've done already, just to make it a little quicker, is, and I don't know if you can see that, it's very hard to see. I have already stitched the two lines here where the zipper is going to go. So it saves us some time. You want to make sure that your zipper is going, this is the side that is going into the machine. So I'm putting my zipper top, okay, at the very top. And I'm going to go ahead and tape that down. And you don't want to tape it where it's going to sew. So it stops you at a certain point. So I'm going to go ahead and I make sure that it's right there. Now, the first thing that it's going to do is going to sew the bottom of the bag first. So I'm going to take the bottom of my bag and put it right side down. And make sure that it lines up with the two lines. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape those down as well. I'm using the zipper line that I just sewed as the top of where this is going to be, because it's going to actually stitch right down here. The other thing that I want to do is turn it around the other side. And this you can see a little better, is this is going to be where the bottom of the bag is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead using that zipper line, and I should just mark it. Maybe I can do that for you, so you can see it. Of course, that pen doesn't work. I'm going to use the highlighter. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. And so what I'm going to do is place this right side down and in between the two marks, leaving a little bit there. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this down as well. And this one, I'm actually going to tape it because I'm flipping it. I just want to make sure it's got something that's going to stay there. So I'm going to go ahead and see, I knew that was going to come out. So I'm going to put that down like that, this here. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little tape right there. Okay, so I want to take this to my machine so that it can sew this down right there. Okay, so let me change my camera for you. And I'm going to put this in my machine very carefully, making sure that my bottom is not underneath. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch it down. Now, what I have in my machine right now, I don't want to stitch with because it's water soluble. And guess what happens if you use water soluble? It's going to disappear if I get this wet. So I'm going to go ahead and just use, I'm just regular sewing thread because we are just sewing. We're not embroidering yet. I do have white bobbin thread in my bobbin. I made sure that I had a full bobbin. So now I'm going to go ahead and let it stitch all the way down, and it's supposed to catch both sides. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I am using a tearaway stabilizer in my hoop because I do want to tear it away from behind the zipper. Like that, like that. All right, so I'm going to pull it out. Take it back to the table. Take my tape off. And I'm going to fold this down and tape it on the sides. And you want to make it as flat as possible. And you want to do the same for the back side. I'm going to go ahead, pull it down. Hope you can see this. And now it's going to stitch around this outside edge to hold it all down. So we're going to go ahead, take it back to the machine. I really should do that last because I keeps coming undone. All right, so I'm going to take it back to the machine. I definitely want to make sure that the bottom is where it should be, and let it stitch. Like I didn't get far enough. Okay, so now it's going to do the same for the top. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put, change the camera. And I turned it to the back first this time. And I'm going to put it, the line is right there. And let me make it so that you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. Just got to make sure that it's going to stay. Okay, and then I'm going to take my other piece that's here and tape that down. Okay, so now I'm going to take it back to the machine, making sure that my bottom is there. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and let it switch. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the top that I did with the bottom. So I'm going to take it back to my table. I'm going to do the back first. My back piece is really big. Definitely going to have to cut it, but it'll be cut when we do the whole bag. So I'm not too worried about it, as long as it stays out of my way. It's there. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back in, and it's going to stitch around here. Okay. I knew I was going to get it caught. Okay, so now it's going to stitch out sharp things. So I'm going to change to my embroidery thread. So let's let it stitch out sharp things. That should take about 3 minutes. So it's nicely stitching those out. And then the next thing it's going to stitch out is the element for the first cactus. Doing the end now to the G and S, and then we'll be done. Okay, so now I'm going to change my thread to a dark green to do the placement line for the first cactus. So it's going to do the placement for the first cactus. And it's going to be this one for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric down and let it stitch out the tack down. So now all I have to do is cut the green extra fabric. So I'm going to go ahead, change cameras. Okay. And use my curved scissors to cut around. And you want to cut as close as you can get. I did put SF101 on the back of all of the fabrics. So now it's going to go ahead and stitch around the outside edge of the cactus. So I'm going to switch back to the other camera for you. And it's going to do some decorative stitching on the inside before it does the outside. They're two different ones. So if you wanted to switch the thread, you could. I'm leaving the same color. It might be fun to do a different color just because you can see it, the designs in it. This takes as long as sharp things is stitching. I think I definitely put a different color in if you wanted to show up. I think it's doing all the little stickers. Okay, so now it's going to do, I'm going to leave the same green in and let it do the satin stitch around the whole thing. The next one we're going to do is the center one. And I'm actually going to use felt for that one. I thought it would be kind of fun to give it a different texture. Almost done. So I'm then going to change to a lighter green. So this is going to do the placement for the center cactus. It's funny with these little scraps come out are helpful. If I save all the little scraps, and it's amazing when you can use them. So now I need to cut. I'm just going to leave it here. Okay, and it's going to do the decorative stitching now for that. It's got like a little flower on top, kind of. I don't know if that's what that is on top, but I'm going to make it yellow or like a gold. And then I'll go back to the green. So now I'm going to do satin stitch around the center cactus. So I'm going back to the same green I had before. Okay, it's going to do the pot, and I like to have them all do it at the same time. So what I'm going to do with this is I am going to take and move my machine ahead to do the green other cactus, and then move it back again so that I don't have to change my thread that many times. I'm going to go ahead and let it stitch out the placement for the last cactus. This down and let it stitch out the pack now. Okay, so this one is going to take a little more tedious to cut out, so I'm going to take it back to the table. I'm changing the camera for you. So when you're doing your pots, I'm having mine all the same, but you can have different colors, so then it wouldn't matter. But because I did my pots all in the same fabric, that's why I chose to go ahead and do the pots all at once, because that's the last thing it's going to work on. Okay. So now it's going to do the decorative stitch. I'm going to change back over to the other camera. And this one is actually going to do the satin stitch first and then the decorative stitch. Okay, so now it's going to do all the little prickly things, and I'm going to go ahead and do that in the dark green. And you want this color to be a little bit different so that you can see it. After this, we'll do the pots. Yeah, a little more pokies. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm putting on the brown, which is the same color as my cork. Oh, red. And I'm going to go back to where that cork was, that I missed the pot that was in the center here. So I'm actually going to, and maybe I should change the camera so you can see it. Hopefully you can see that a little bit. Oh, there's a lot of glare here. So look, the glare. No. Anyway, all I'm going to do is go back using my buttons here to the placement tap down of the pot. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead, because I've changed the thread, go back to the other camera, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch the placement for this one. And while I've done that, and I've got a bobbin, so I'm going to hit the bobbin and put a new bobbin in.
Call from unavailable.
Oh, it took a lot of bobbins. I had a full one in there.
Call from unavailable. Call from unavailable.
And so I'm going to bobbin in, and it should stop and start right away. And this has kind of got lines in it. So, and this is small, so I'm going to go ahead and put it down so it's right there at the edge. And I could tape it, but I'm right here. It does go around twice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut around it. I'm going to get a little closer here. A little closer there. Okay. So now it's going to do the satin stitch around the outside edge. This is a fun way to use up your extra cord. You can see that. And you can see I will have enough to do all 3 pots. Okay, so now I'm going to move it past those places that we've already done. And it's going to go back over here and do the placement. And I'm leaving the same color in because I'm using the same cork. Now, if I wanted to make a difference, I could make it go this way. Let's see. No, I'm going to have to do it this way. But it's a nice way to use up your extra little pieces. And I keep all my, like all my cork pieces together. I keep all of my felt pieces together. And that way, if I need just a little piece to add some dimension, I can do that. I'm going to take it out to do the rest. Now, if you're using fabric, I definitely would put SF101 on the back of the fabric. Okay, so now it's going to do the satin stitch, and then also going to do the placement line for the other pot. Okay, so let's see if I cut that close enough. I guess that's okay. All right, away we go. Now, I will change my needle after I've done the cork because it does tend to dull your needle for my next project. Not only that, you're going over the zipper, and sometimes that can dull your needle as well. I like the cork. Kind of excited about it. So now it's going to come over and do the placement for the last one. Almost done. I just want to see, can I use this itty bitty little piece? I can. See how I use up my scraps? Putting my cork away again. Okay, so go ahead and stitch around here. And I still have that much cork left over. Okay, so the next thing is going to sew on your back. So I'm going to put regular sewing thread back in. Okay, so I need to put, I'm going to go over to my, take this out and change cameras here real quick. So unfortunately, I have two pieces here. And so I'm going to put them on top of, like so. But number one thing to do, this is red flag. You want to open your zipper to about 2/3, okay? And then we're going to put this on. So it's literally going to sew all around your zipper or all around your bag. And I think I am going to tape the outside edges just to be absolutely sure, especially you can see where my zippers are. Okay, so now it's going to sew all the way around, and not to worry because we know that it's open on the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and take it back to the machine. And away we go. Okay. So it's going to go ahead and sew all the way around. Okay, we have one more piece to put on. I'm going to take it over to the back. Okay, and while I'm here, oops, I guess I need to change the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and slit, okay, where the zipper is. Okay, I can do it, cut it better later, but right now I just want to make that slit. So hopefully you saw me do that. It is a tearaway, but I put a heavyweight tearaway. You really don't need that. So now what I'm going to do is take my piece. This is my backing or my lining. Unfortunately, it's the same color. I didn't have any more of the purple flowers. Again, I'm using stuff out of my stash, which is pretty cool. I know I don't need it all the way over there, but I will. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it upside down again, and I'm going to put it on the machine, or right side up. And now it's going to stitch, leaving a gap in the middle here. And I just want to make sure that, yep, I'm good there, I'm good there. So now it's going to stitch around one more time, but it's going to leave about a 4-inch gap in the center. Okay, we are done. Now all we need to do, and I'm going to again change my camera so that you can see. Uh-oh, see, I wasn't careful, so I may have to sew this down. Oh, darn. Well, that's unfortunate. You can see things happen. See, I should have checked that a little better. But I will show you, I can do this later. So what I'm going to do is cut around the whole thing. And I didn't bring my good scissors over. See here. Yeah, it's good. You can use your rotary cutter, would be better. But I forgot that too. All right. So because I didn't get to sew all the way around, I'm going to have some issues here. So let me, I'm going to pin for you so you can at least see what goes on. Well, maybe I won't. Yeah, I will. This is an easy fix. All I need to do is go sew, use the sewing machine and go around it. But since accidents happen, and this is a good thing. So what I'm going to do is cut this way and this way where that opening is. And then all I need to do is turn it inside out. And you're going, uh-oh, what's wrong with this picture? It's still inside out. So I love my point turner here. So I'm going to carefully this corner here. And this one, I'm just going to gently do it. And then because I opened my zipper, I can then sew this together by hand or by machine. And since I have my little oopsie, I'm going to do it by machine and just sew all around, or sew it here. And then I'll go back and sew the other side. But then all you need to do is turn it one more time. Here. And one more time here. And now it needs a good press. I'll throw all my trash away so you don't have that in the picture. And my and I will go in here and cut this away a little bit. But there's your cute little bag. Just like that. So that's it in a nutshell. So I showed you some mistakes you can make that you can fix, as well as doing it the right way. So, but it's so cute. And put your sharp things in so they don't get hurt. And I'll pull out my corners once I sew that around. But there it is. And using cork, which is really fun to do, using felt instead of just fabric really makes a difference. So again, you can change it up as well as doing any other thing you want to. You can move things around like I did, because I knew that all my pots were the same. If you have different pots than colors, it doesn't matter. Okay. So that's our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day.